Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm finally back to filming this week, thankfully. But this was the video that almost wasn't. It's taking me literally 8 hours to film this because everything that could possibly go wrong has gone wrong with either my camera or my makeup application, whatever. So this was almost the video that wasn't. But I pushed through because I wanted to show you guys this really subtle, iridescent, all drugstore down to the eyebrows. Yeah, you got it. I actually was able to get rid of my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz pencil that I'm so in love with and used all drugstore products for this beautiful, subtle prom tutorial. I know that it is prom season. I know that a lot of you are getting ready to go to either your first prom or your last prom, and I just wanted to show a more affordable approach to a look. This is not a very dramatic look by any means. It's very understated, but when you close your eye and you let the light hit your eyeshadow, it's very iridescent, and I was able to achieve that using Wet n Wild eyeshadows, which you'll see in a minute. I just was really pleased with how this turned out. Again, every single bit of this is drugstore, every single bit. So you can go to your local CVS or Walgreens and find all of these products and be able to recreate this look yourself if you are interested. I hope you have a fabulous prom. This is one of 2 or 3 prom videos I'm going to try to get up this week. No promises because it's been an awful day trying to film this, but it's finally done. So I hope you enjoy. Give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Never mind my IMATS casualties here. I was in IMATS New York and I lost some nails. I have started my freelance business, my freelance makeup artistry business, so if you are in the Atlanta area and want to book me as your makeup artist, give me a shout. I'll leave the details down below in the box where you can contact me, and I will see you guys in the next video. And I will go ahead and jump right into the tutorial.
So I'm starting off with my Maybelline the Nudes palette, and I'm taking that matte brown shade that's in the palette and I'm using it for my brows. Now my brows just happen to be this exact color, so you know, for my lighter haired brow ladies that may be an issue, but you can always find an eyeshadow somewhere that will match as long as it's matte. And then I'm taking my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind concealer and I'm putting that on my lids to act as an eyeshadow primer, and I'm just going to paint that on my lids all the way to the brow bone, anywhere that I know I'm going to be applying eyeshadow. And then I'm going to take my Wet n Wild palette, and I got this at CVS, and I'm taking that brow bone color, which it wasn't matte, but it wasn't shimmery. It was a pretty, I don't know how to describe that color, but it was just a good base to mattify the concealer. And then I'm taking that brown shimmery crease shade, and it looked more shimmery in the palette than it actually was on the eye. It was more shiny actually. So that I put in my crease with a big fluffy brush from Sigma, and then I am taking a smaller fluffy brush, smaller blending brush, and I'm taking that darker shade, and I was so pleased. You can see I was really excited. This is that created the iridescent look for the eyes, and I was so excited for it because it was so shiny and it would change color in the light, and it was just so beautiful. And then I'm going back in with that brow bone shade, and this is a Morphe brush, I believe, the Morphe Sable brush, and I'm putting that brow bone color in the areas that I left blank, and then I'm taking that Sigma smaller blending brush and I'm blending the two together so that they mesh, and then I'm taking that same brow bone color and I'm putting it let me guess, on my brow bone. I'm so cheesy, guys. You gotta love me. And I'm using a Sigma pencil brush for that. And then I'm going to take my L'Oreal Infallible Super Slim Liner. And I debated doing a big wing, and then I thought, no, since we're going for a more understated type of look, I decided to just do a flick, as I call it, at the end of my lid. And I didn't have to clean this up or anything. You can achieve this just by using the pin. Without having to use makeup remover wipes or anything because it is so small. So what I do is I just start like normal and I draw a thin line across my lashes as close to the lash line as possible. And then you can see I take the tip of that pin and I just flick it up, just like you would if you're drawing a line on a piece of paper. Sometimes that helps when people are learning how to do liquid liner for the first time. Just pretend you're drawing an eye on paper. But I just try to keep that line as thin as possible, but as neat as possible. So if I did have to go a hair thicker than I meant to, it was okay. But I did take that all the way to the inner corner and thinned it out towards the inner corner, and I used the tip as well. So then I used for my primer an Olay moisturizer, and then I used an Olay eye cream. And I didn't have any drugstore primers in my possession so far, and I know they're out there. The Maybelline baby skin one I really want to try. I've heard it feels very much like silicone, but I just hadn't been to the drugstore to purchase that yet. So I just stuck with my normal moisturizer, which you can also find at the drugstore, and then my tried and true Covergirl foundation, and it's my Outlast foundation. And I took a Morphe brush and I put that all over my skin, and then I took my Beauty Blender damp and pounced that on my face to blend it out, because I found with that foundation you really have to blend that out pretty good. And then I go back in with my Maybelline concealer, and I put that under my eyes in a triangle shape, and then a little bit towards the left there I had a blemish, and then down my nose, on my cupid's bow, my chin, and my forehead. And then I'm going to take that same Beauty Blender damp, and I'm going to blend all of that out. Oh, before that, I took my Maybelline Master Conceal, which I will say, let me brag on this concealer for a minute. I am such a stickler for creasing under the eyes because I already have a lot of folds. This concealer is so good. I will mix it with my MAC Pro Longwear. I love it so much. And then I'm taking my Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in, I don't remember the shade, but I'll list it down below, and a MAC brush, which this is the only brush I have at the moment. I sacrificed one of my brushes to my kit, and that was really good for under eye. But I'm putting that Stay Matte Powder all over my face, and then I'm taking this Rimmel Natural Bronzer. I was very fond of Rimmel today, and I'm taking my NARS Ita brush, and I'm carving out my cheekbones. I like this bronzer because even though, yes, it is a bronzer, it doesn't look bad as a contour either. You know, normally we use the taupey gray brown shade to create a shadow. This didn't look bad as a contour, so I actually went to town on my nose because I figured, you know, this is a special occasion. Let's actually do a pretty bold contour. And so then I take a fluffier brush, this is a Sigma brush, and I take that same bronzer, and I'm going to bronze my temples and blend out my contour on my cheeks, and then just basically blend that bronzer all over to give my face more color, because I was looking a little bit what Shan XO on YouTube, she calls it a potato face, which I just thought was perfect. When you don't have any color but foundation, you really do look like a potato. I was just like, that's brilliant. So I don't want to look like a potato face, so I'm blending it out. And then I am taking this Milani blush, and I die. This is so beautiful for a drugstore blush. I can't believe that this is even affordable, but it is. And it feels better than some of my high-end blushes, I will say that. So I own quite a few of these. I highly recommend going out and picking some up because they are so pigmented. You actually have to be careful. You can actually over-apply. And then I'm blending that out with my Morphe Duo Fiber brush. I just found that this brush really blends contour, bronzer, blush all in one. It makes it mesh and it makes it look divine on the skin. So this is like stage 16 of filming this video, so I had already done my hair. But I'm going in with my Physicians Formula. It's Beige Pearl, and it's a highlighter. And I'm taking this Morphe fan brush, and I'm putting that on my cheekbones and a little bit on my brow bone. But it's not nearly as noticeable as, say, the high-end Becca highlighter. But if you pack it on, especially on my Cupid's bow, you can really see it. But it's more of a glow, and I kind of like that sometimes because I'm so fair. And then this L'Oreal Kohl liner I put in my waterline because I wanted to be a little dramatic. And then I go back in with that iridescent shadow from Wet n Wild, and this is a Morphe brush. It's just that's the same half moon shaped brush that I always use, that I love for my under eye. If you have eyes similar to mine, this is a really good brush to look into, and you can order it online from the Morphe online store. And I took that pretty far down, and then I go in with my Sigma pencil brush and that shadow that we put in our crease, and I blend that pretty far down as well because we are going to prom, even though I'm much, much older than prom goers. But let's say I was going to prom, I would want to drag that down a little bit farther than normal because I wanted it to be a little bit dramatic. And then I'm going back in with that Physicians Formula highlighter, and I'm popping that on my brow bone and then in my inner corners because I really liked how shimmery it could go if you packed it on enough. And then This is when I would say pop some mascara on, put some false lashes on, but I'm allergic, so I just went with my Covergirl 2-in-1 Bombshell, or 2-in-1, I don't know, but it's my Bombshell mascara. And then that is my Lash Stiletto mascara, and it's waterproof, which I highly recommend using waterproof since you're going to be dancing and you don't want that smudging on where you just concealed your under eye. And then I'm taking this Milani pencil and I'm doing a bit of an ombre lip. I thought that would be really pretty, and I created sort of a grayish, beige and gray color together for the lips, and I was actually really happy with it. It seemed to go really well with the eyes in person. The camera didn't catch it as well as I wanted it to. So I put that pencil and I just put it on the outer edges of my lips, and then I take this Rimmel, it's a velvet matte liquid lipstick, I guess, and I'm actually really loving these Rimmel liquid lipsticks. If you don't want to spend money on the high-end ones, these are fantastic and they actually stay pretty well. So that was the finished look, and I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you have a great prom. Be safe and be smart and go with people that you love and that you love hanging out with and you can have a lot of fun with, and just make it one to remember. So I love you guys. See you. Bye.